If you ask your English teacher this question, "Teacher, is it important to cultivate a native-like accent?" Your teacher will most likely respond this way: "No, it is not. And listen well. As an English student, what you need to do is practice articulation and try to pronounce words within the eligibility range. But it is not necessary to reduce your accent or cultivate a native-like accent." But, to be honest, a lot of English learners, including me, have always looked at a English native speaker as the ultimate ideal speaker of English, right? And we also looked at a native accent as a never achievable goal, but something so worth obsessing over, right? And it was until these few years that I gradually stopped being so obsessed over it. And so what happened to me? Why did I stop? Stay tuned to find out. What is up, you guys? This is Chris. And this week, I would like to talk about two very interesting personal anecdotes about me mispronouncing certain words and the consequences of that, and what I actually learned from these experiences. Yep, so it is time to sell myself out, and hopefully they can make you have a laugh. And then, I would really love to talk more about accents, this super controversial but so popular topic, right? And also other topics like world Englishes, native speakerism, racial linguistic ideologies, etc., etc. But this week, that'll just keep it light and just listen to my silly stories. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It's totally free, okay? And please also feel free to pull up to my Instagram with threads and talk to me. Let me know what you think about my videos. Then without further ado, let us jump right into it. So the first story took place in Taipei when I was hanging out with a few Taiwanese friends and British friends. And on that day, we decided to go play golf to celebrate a friend's birthday. And then we were taking turns playing golf and also taking a break, right? And then I remember we were also on the topic of terror attacks. And then I read an article about it. And then the article was about someone threatening to blow up an airport in the UK, right? So I directly quoted from the news article. "The staff has received a bombing threat." When I said that actually cracked up two of my British friends so bad. They were literally rolling on the floor. And one of them was like, "Oh, Chris, are you trying to shack an airport?" And then the other friend was like, "Chris, you don't bomb an airport, you bomb an airport. Gotta be more careful and open your mouth when you say the word bomb," okay? And oh my God, I was so mortified at that moment. After I realized what I actually said, I wish I could dig a hole at the golf course and actually hide myself inside it, right? So yeah, you gotta be more careful when you say the word bum or bomb, okay? So yeah, and then, a few days after that, I've been so mopey about myself mispronouncing those words. But, I know that they weren't trying to make me feel bad about myself or, trying to make fun of me. So I guess the moral of the story is that we have to be careful when we pronounce words with minimal pairs, right? We gotta be more careful when we pronounce these similar vowels. And just in case you're interested in learning the difference, I've got you. So firstly, bum with the vowel and bomb with the vowel a. So you gotta open your mouth more when you read the word bomb. Okay, drop your jaw more. So bum means a person's bottom, and in slang it can also be used as a verb, which means to have sex. And you get the idea. And on the other hand, bomb, right? It can be a verb or a noun, and as a noun, it is usually an explosive weapon that can be detonated. My second story was with this Tinder guy called Mike. So we were chatting on the app for a few days, and we decided to have a little meetup at a cafe to, get to know each other more. And then we were chatting, everything was good and all, but then suddenly he started to rant on about the fact that he is sapiosexual. And Mike, as a self-proclaimed polyglot, he said that he is super attracted to smart guys. And then, that was a moment for me because I knew things were probably go south. So then we were switching between languages, and then to be fair, he spoke super good Spanish and he also spoke not bad Mandarin. If it's true that he said he only studied a language program in Taiwan for 6 months. But then we were discussing the similarity and differences between the two languages, Japanese and Korean. And then he suddenly interrupted me and was like, "Oh, excuse me, what's that?" And then I was like, I was just talking about the similarity between the two words in Japanese and Korean. And then he went, "Chris, you gotta say the word similarity correctly. Not similarity, but right? If you don't say the word correctly, I'm gonna have a hard time understanding you, right? That's so unattractive." And then at that moment, I was so effing baffled. I was like, if I read the word as in similarity, what would you mistake it for, right? Simulacrum, right? So, but it was also very nice to spot a red flag so early on, right? To know that, right, this person is just really not a person to be with or to even be a friend with. Also, language learning wise is a very good experience, very thought-provoking as well. And let me ask you, which person would you think is better at English? Is it a multilingual speaker who speaks English as a second language, who has a perceived non-standard accent, but who can understand many different accents well and communicate well? Or, on the other hand, another person who is a native speaker of English and who also learned another language and know how hard it is to achieve a native-like accent, but still pride themselves on their native accents, and also chooses to not understand a non-native accent because they think non-standard accents are unattractive. I think it's safe to say that many people will still deem the second person an ideal role model speaker, right? Someone who has the ultimate authority of the English language. But here's the thing, right? There are way more second language speakers of English in this world than people who speak English as their first language. So if our ultimate goal is to get our messages across, why do we have to achieve a native-like accent, right? Shouldn't we put more responsibility onto the listeners and, try to meet each other halfway? But nevertheless, I still stand by the idea that students need to practice articulation and try to pronounce English words within the eligibility range, right? You still have to pronounce words accurately enough to be easily understood. But, it would be super wonderful to see people be nice to each other and stop being so persnickety. But what do you think? Do you have any similar experiences? Or do you completely disagree with me? Do you want to let me know how wrong and ignorant I am? Comment down below in the comment section, okay? And then I think that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and then please like, comment, and subscribe. And please also feel free to go to my Instagram or Thread page to interact with me. And then I hope you have a good one and hope to see you soon. Goodbye.